What do you do to relax?
Oh, take your mind off football, as much as you can. Um, Lock in on some academics and really just take time off. I think that was the biggest thing for me is allow the body, allow the mind to rest and just get ready for the rest of the season.
Well, Coach Sweeney talked about the championship phase. He says you guys' best ball is ahead of you. Discuss the sense of urgency this team has right now and the opportunity at hand to put together a full game versus Notre Dame up in South Bend this Saturday.
Yeah, it's a really big deal. It's something we've been working towards since January. And to be able to have a really big matchup against Notre Dame, at their place, which is I think I saw something Coach Sweeney said. It's just a place you want to play at. It's a place you want to compete in. So to be able to have that opportunity, put a full game together, do our thing. It's something that we have been preparing for a long time. So you mentioned sense of urgency. I think what will help us is that we've had that sense of urgency, and it's not something that we just apply this week because it's Notre Dame and it's a big atmosphere, it's a big game. It's something that we've had, so we've just got to continue to keep that up, and know the game plan, know how to execute, and just make plays.
Did Notre Dame recruit you very much?
A little bit, a
Did
little
you,
bit.
did you take any visits there?
Yeah, yeah. No, I was joking around. They recruited me really, really heavy. Yeah. It was actually my second school behind Clemson. So definitely a little bit there. But yeah, it took probably 4 or 5 visits. Got cut out during COVID, and then wasn't able to return. But yeah.
What were some of the things that stood out to you about the campus or the football stadium? And did you think to yourself back then, like, hey, I might get a chance to play at Death Valley or here at Notre Dame Stadium?
Yeah, I have so much tradition. I think that's the first word that comes to mind. Growing up, watching Rudy, and so many things that go into it. It's just a place that you want to play, and then watching 2020 them storm the field, and us not being able to come out victorious. I think it just maybe adds a little bit more. So like I said, just gotta continue to keep our head down, continue to learn the game plan, and just prepare for a great week.
I guess as far as your favorite movies growing up, where did Rudy rank? I mean, was that one of the ones that was up there?
Yeah, well, at a young age, it was probably that and Blindside as my two favorite movies. As I've kind of grown old and started to gain a little bit more knowledge in the movie industry, I think it's kind of widened away from the football scenes and football. But yeah, I think as I was young, it was Blindside and that 1 and 2 for sure.
Speaking of young people, on Twitter, I saw you kind of retweeting and quoting, there are little kids dressing up like you for Halloween. Did you ever think that was going to happen, when you were a high school football player? What does that mean to you to have these little kids looking up to you like that?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It just brings a smile to my face, to open up social media and be able to see that, you are influencing and, you are inspiring, the next generation and the youth. I think that's, outside of football, that's what you want to do in life. And, God has given me the platform that I have right now to be able to do that. So, such a great feeling. I'm blessed to be able to interact with people like that, and thank you to social media for that side of things. But like I said, it all goes back to God just giving me the platform to be able to do so, and just making the most of it.
And you talked about being rested, but I guess, can you describe how different your body feels after 1 week of rest compared to 2 weeks of rest?
Yeah, with 1 week rest, and then just thinking back to last year, kind of around bowl game area, we didn't make the ACC championship, so we had that week off as well. I think that your body kind of adjusts and becomes accustomed to whatever it's given. So me, I have very good self-awareness in terms of my body and how I'm feeling. I know I'm telling my body, like, all right, you've got 1 week. Like we've got to do everything in this 1 week to get back to full health mentally and physically. So I think that's a big part of it is being able to adjust and your body making adjustments to whatever situation you're in, which is something that the training room and being in the castle have done great with helping me get back to where I need to be.
Well, I'm sure you watched that 2020 epic game up there in South Bend that went to double overtime. What were your recollections of that game?
Yeah, it's a tough one. It goes down into double overtime. At that point, it can really go either way. But I think the biggest thing I took away from it is it's just how everybody looked, how everybody felt. As they were walking off the field, you see all the Notre Dame fans storming and bumping in, running in, getting in Trevor's face. So I think that's the stuff that truly sticks out. Just kind of having that in the back of your mind and adding fuel to the fire.
So we were talking to Phil Maffa, I think it was a week ago, and he was saying that you might get a little more attention than he does just because you're the number one back, and that he doesn't resent you in any way for it, and that's just what is given to you, and he appreciates that. I mean, how grateful are you for a teammate who's willing to sacrifice in that way, and what does that say about Phil that he is?
Yeah, I think it says so much, towards Phil and his character, who he is a person. He's got everything you need to be successful in life, and that's not on the football field, not only in the business world, but everything. And you learn to just love somebody like that. And spending the last almost 2 years with him now, there's very few things. Maybe on one hand I could pick out that I don't prefer. What I'm trying to say is I love that dude with all my heart. I mean, there's nothing else to say. He's one of the greatest dudes I've ever been around. He uplifts me and makes me a better person, a better player every single day. And that's what I love about Phil Maffa, and it just goes to show that he's willing to give a little bit of that attention away, or me get a couple more carries. That's just the epitome of this football team. Kind of like with what you saw with DJ and Cade against Syracuse. I think that's what this football team entails of, and it's why we are so special. So yeah, I love 2-6. He pushes me every day. Wouldn't want anyone else as my brother, teammate, roommate. So many things in there. So.
He's kind of a quiet guy, but what is your friendship like with him? I think you say you guys play a lot of video games. I get competitive that way. What types of things do you guys do together, I guess, off the field?
Yeah, we pretty much spend every minute. It's funny. I was actually talking to Jake and Phil the other day. It's like I don't think there's been one day at Clemson thus far where I've not seen either of you two, which is really crazy to think about because I get sick of people pretty quick. So, that's definitely saying something towards them. No, but you're totally right. Just being able to spend every day with him and just kind of getting accustomed to be more like him, picking up some of his, terminology and thoughts and all of that stuff. It's been a really cool process. I couldn't ask for a better friend, better roommate.
I guess what's his terminology? Pick up on?
Yeah, just being from different areas, saying different things, thinking different ways. I think that's really what I was, kind of touching on is when you spend a lot of time with somebody, as Phil and I do, you start to become more and more like them, more compatible. And I think that's kind of how Phil and I's relationship has gone. Is it's only gotten better since the day we got here, and it's only going to continue to get better throughout our tenure here, and then whenever we're done playing as well.
Is there anything he says that you now say? Or is there a specific example, I guess?
Yeah, no specific examples right now. I appreciate it though.
Well, Walker was just here and telling us that there's a plan in the works for maybe you to take him out to dinner or something.
Yes, yeah, I've been trying to take those boys out since preseason. It's tough with everybody's schedule and getting everybody. I was able to give them and the tight ends a little gift last week, just bye week, and go have some fun and enjoy yourselves. So I was happy to be able to do that, but would love to get them all out to dinner. Just treat them in any way possible. Those hogs, tight ends, really everybody on the offense, whole team deserves it. But I've been put in a position where I can give back a little bit and have the space and comfortability to do that. So I want to make them feel good and make them realize that they are so appreciated throughout this program, especially through me.
Also, Tyler Penance was here yesterday. Is he now the most injury-prone guy on the team? And do you have any ideas on what he could do to maybe be more protective of himself?
Yeah, I love TV. He's crazy, but I think that's just who he is as a person. He's gonna run around. He's going 110 miles per hour at all times. So there's been a couple incidents the past couple weeks. I think he'll learn from those mistakes and move forward. But I'm just glad he's doing all right and everything's going well.
Talk about the friendship and the camaraderie you have with the linemen and how important that is for the linemen, the quarterback, running backs, everybody get along, and what is special about this group?
Yeah, it's crazy the development that we've gone through since last year. Last year I would kind of sit in the backfield and I'd be afraid to ask who the point is because I just didn't really have much of a voice on the field. But this year I'll pause DJ's cadence to step up and communicate with them, talk who y'all got, what protection we got here, y'all changing it. So just the communication infield, and then when you're talking off the field, those are the guys that I hang around with and spend a lot of my time with. So just creating that camaraderie, it definitely travels over to the field with that chemistry and just kind of knowing each other like the back of your hand, being able to communicate and make plays off of that.
Coach Sweeney talked about the fact that y'all haven't put together a complete game, offense, defense, special teams yet this season. You're still 8-0, which is great. But as one of the team leaders, how do you inspire your teammates to put one of those games together? Maybe if you get a big lead by 20 points like you did at Florida State, to keep the foot on the gas.
Yeah, it truly is on the leaders for that, and that's something that we've struggled with. So thankful to be 8-0 with, those problems. But I think once we taste it, it'll be, something like we want it again, right? So we just got to hit that first time, that first full game of great football, offense, defense, special teams. If we're just able to get a little taste of that, I think it'll become what we're accustomed to. This football team hasn't really gotten a great taste of that over the past 2 years, or a year and a half. So, as a leader, you just got to keep everybody focused. You got to keep everybody in the game, even if you are up by 20 points, against a good Florida State team. It's just keeping everybody locked in, dialed in, ready to go, and, want to just punish people, not only beat them.
How much do you savor the opportunity to return kickoffs?
I love it. Anytime they will kick me the ball, I want to take it to the house. So, if I see that thing floating up there, a little short of the goal line, then